Yeah, hello and welcome to our lecture on professional computing practice. So today we'll be looking at anonymity, security, and privacy. Yeah, so let's start by looking at information. Today, information in itself is a treasure. The more you have, the better it is for you, whether you are in business, you are in academia, politics, and so on. Yeah, with information, there are enormous opportunities, be it intellectual, economic, yeah, and those of you that are into marketing, you know how valuable social information is, and even those of you into politics, yeah, especially our student politicians. I mean, you know the value of social information. Yeah. So I think we can all agree that information is now the fuel that is empowering economies and businesses in today's information age. Yeah. That being said, let's look at. Information, is it always good all the time? Yeah, because there are times that as good as information can be, but it can also be a liability. Yeah, there are times it can be a liability, and then yeah. So now, why and then how can information be a liability in the information age? Yeah, so there are a number of reasons here. We have security breaches. Yeah, so once you have information, you collect a lot of information about customers, yeah, employees, and then you store them in some network, some database, and so on. There are chances that um, some malicious actors, yeah, will penetrate your security system, and then yeah, and once that happen, yeah, it opens the Pandora box, and um yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, a lot of bad things can happen. Yeah, and at times you can lose your reputation if you are a business, and there is yeah, a breach of your network or your database, and so on. Yeah, you can lose credibility in the eyes of the public, and then you can also even suffer somewhat yeah, financial losses because of the information that will be taken away. And yeah, certain individuals may even sue you for yeah, failing to protect their information. So there is this yeah, data protection regulations that companies have to always adhere to, and so on. So if you don't handle information of your customers very well, they can be legal challenges, yeah, in that. Yeah, so that is with security breaches. So there could be some legal risk. Yeah, and then also misinformation. Yeah, so yeah, misinformation is the other bad thing. Yeah, that can yeah, come out of information. So the information is misrepresented. Yeah, or people are misinformed about the actual yeah, true information. So that um, may also be damaging to your brand, your reputation. Yeah, and even when you take steps to remedy that, you may not be able to undo all the damage that has been done. Yeah, so misinformation or misrepresentation of information, yeah, is one thing that yeah, that's we also have to be wary of with regard to information. Yeah. Then we can also have what we call decision paralysis. There are times you have what so much information, yeah, that you are unable to make decisions. So having so much information, yeah, then you can what actually really process. Yeah, can also be another challenge. So that can also be another challenge, because when you have too much of it, in the first place, you may not be able to what process the information. So your computer systems may not be able to what process that information. That is, if you don't have what powerful infrastructure to be able to deal with that information. Yeah, so you can have what all the information, but you are unable to make decision because you are unable to process it. And um, yeah, and at times they could even be what conflicting what data within what that information. So you are collecting everything, it's too much. Yeah, there are even what conflicting data. Yeah, so when there is conflicting data, what do you do? Yeah, and at times because of the complexity, we are just unable to yeah, handle it. And you have the information, but it becomes a liability because it doesn't what help you yeah, make informed decisions. Okay. Yeah, then we can also look at the storage costs. Yeah, so collecting what a lot of information, or information about what every and anything, yeah, will come to you at a cost. Yeah, so if you're unable to what yeah, filter what is really useful, and then you are just collecting everything because information is the new fuel powering what businesses and so on. So if you're collecting everything, and then yeah, at the end of the day, it yeah drives you into a decision paralysis. And then yeah, you're also going to pay a lot to be able to store and then manage that information. Yeah, so if the amount you pay to store information is not with the value that information is bringing to you, yeah, then that is what a liability. Yeah, because if you keep information, then yeah, it should be commensurate with the value, yeah, the or the returns that information is bringing. Yeah, then we can also talk about what yeah, yeah, ethical what unethical uses of what that information. So once you collect information, and then what yeah, you employ people to use this information, there are chances that yeah, if you don't what yeah, properly what manage your organization, there may be what some unethical uses of what that information. Once people have that information, yeah, it may be tempting, and then once it's tempting, then people what yeah, are likely to indulge in unethical uses and so on. Yeah, and then yeah, the other point is that if yeah, being vulnerable what yeah, to digital system. Yeah, so because of what yeah, the value that information brings to what businesses today, you realize that yeah, everybody yeah, has accepted that, that is the way to go. Yeah, so with that acceptance, you see that people and businesses tend to over rely on what yeah, these digital systems and so on, and um, they can't be 100% guaranteed that they are always going to what be effective, or they are always going to what support your business all the time. There are times that they will be unfunctional due to what technical issues and so on. And when that happens, you realize that because of your over reliance on them, yeah, without what yeah, that without your information systems, you are just unable to really carry out your business. Okay, So now let's look at some mitigation measures here. Yeah, so yeah, one thing will be to what I mean enhance your what I mean cyber security, what I mean protocols and so on. You have to put in robust what I mean measures to yeah, prevent or security breaches into your system. So you frequently update your security, what I mean, systems and so on, and make sure that yeah, your systems are always secured because this, what I mean, malicious actors, they never go to sleep. So if you have what secured system today, you can't go to sleep. You have to keep on what working day and night to what yeah keep your security systems up to date. Then you have to also ensure what I mean legal compliance. I mean within your organization, yeah, because there may be what I mean tendency that I mean people will be attracted to what unethical uses of what information that is under your custody. Yeah, then you also educate what yeah, your workforce on what I mean misinformation. Yeah, say that yeah they are able to understand yeah what that means and then how to respond in situations or how to even what um, identify potential and then what yeah actual what I mean situations of what misinformation. Yeah, then we are also what I mean you can also what take measures to what avoid information overload. So you may use what somewhat yeah minimization what strategy to yeah make sure you only collect information that is necessary yeah for your business. So you don't just collect everything, and at the end of the day you have this information overload. You are unable to what process them. It becomes so complex. It becomes what conflicting. You are paying more for it, and then you are getting less for that kind of information. Yeah. Then you also have to what I mean uphold the ethical standards, meaning you have to what constantly review your ethical code within your organization and make sure that yeah, there are I mean provisions protecting against unethical I mean use of what yeah information under your custody. Yeah, then strengthening what I mean yeah system what I mean reliability. Yeah, so the fact that I mean this system yeah can be down at times. Yeah, you may want to look at more agile what uh, infrastructure or information systems that you can really what use for your day-to-day business. Yeah, and then you may have to look at what yeah somewhat I mean cloud yeah um, cloud computing what I mean opportunities and so on. So you may have to what consider yeah all of this, but that is not to say that I mean even the cloud yeah may not be challenged. The cloud can also be done. You are able to blend yeah both what I mean in premise and then what I mean cloud solutions. So it will depend on what the strategy yeah that you are using to blend both what cloud and then what I mean in premises, because both of them are going to have what advantages and disadvantages, but you want what a total shutdown yeah when you are depend on one you can what have this kind of what concurrent I mean system yeah going on. Yeah. All right. So now let's move on to what anonymity. Yes, from what I mean the Greek word meaning what I mean nameless. Yeah. So anonymity yeah is used to describe what the state of being nameless. So that is being without a name. Yeah, so can somebody really exist without what an identity or a name? Yeah. Yeah, so that is anonymity. So it means having what no identity. Yeah. So we have what types of what anonymity. We have what we call pseudo identity, untraceable identity, and anonymity with pseudo address. Yeah. So these are what some of the types of what anonymity we have. Yeah, and then so with pseudo identity, there is an individual yeah, identified by what a certain pseudonym, a code or a number. Like you have, right here in UPSA, you all have what student IDs. So these are your pseudo identities. Yeah. So as long as you are here, we are going to what identify you with what your student identity numbers. Yeah, then we also have what we call what untraceable identity. Yeah, so with this one, usually one is not known by what any name, including even a pseudonym. So you don't have a name, you don't have a pseudonym. Yeah, so that is what untraceable identity. Then anonymity with pseudo address. Yeah, so this is often used by what anonymous servers to what to receive and then what send correspondences to others. Yeah, so yeah, now let's move on to yeah, anonymity and then the internet. Yeah, so when you look at what the nature of the internet, the lack of what political, cultural, and religious, yeah, and judicial boundaries. There are no really boundaries. When you get to what to the internet, realm. So um, yeah, it's always what fertile grounds for faceless people to come out in the open. Yeah, so people can what engage in what all manner of what yeah, verbal violence and so on. Yeah, because of what that cloud of what anonymity. Yeah, that hangs over the internet. Yeah, so yeah, the internet provides what anonymity through what channels. One of it is what through anonymous servers. Then we also have what we call anonymous users. Yeah, so these are the ways in which you can what carry out anonymous acts on the internet, anonymous servers, and then anonymous users. So let's start with yeah, anonymous what servers. So today with what advancement in software and hardware, what technology, you realize that yeah, yeah, we are able to what have what servers that can what become anonymous on the internet. Yeah, and even with what anonymous servers, we have what two types of what anonymous servers here. We have what we call the full anonymity servers, and then we have what we call the pseudo anonymity servers. Yeah, so with the full anonymity servers, yeah, this is where a server is able to what send and receive what information. So usually in the internet we are talking about what packets. Yeah, so the information that is sent through the internet is in what packets, and then it being sent what um, yeah across what yeah the internet. So usually the packets, they have what we call what packet headers, and the packet headers usually contain information about what yeah the origin and then the destination of the server. Okay, yeah, yeah, um yeah, let me put it this way. So yeah, usually the packet will have what we call what packet headers, and the headers just keep information what packet is going to, and then where it is what originating from. Yeah. Then we also have what the pseudonymous what servers. So with these servers, they use what a pseudonym to what forward this what internet packets. Yeah, so they keep what the real identity behind a pseudonym. Yeah, and then what they are able to what forward and then receive packets using the pseudonym. Yeah, with a real server that being covered behind what the pseudonym. So what happens is that whatever is being what yeah, sent or received really gets to what the real server behind what the pseudonym. But the pseudonym is the interface that actually interacts with the other servers on the internet. Okay, so yeah, coming to what the other channel of anonymity on the internet, that is anonymous users. So here users assume what pseudonyms, yeah, like you do see in your social media groups. Yeah, a lot of you don't what yeah, join this group. Using what your true identity. Yeah, see that a lot on social media, yeah, chat rooms, bulletin boards, and so on. Yeah, yeah. So that is what anonymous users. Yeah. So yeah, usually because of this, you can see that a lot of people are able to what really yeah put out all manner of what information on the internet on these what bulletin boards, chat rooms, and then what the social networking platform without really what yeah, caring so much about what they are putting out there or what they are saying or what they are engaging in and so on. And then at times, um, yeah, people have what two kind of what attitude. Their attitude what on the internet or on what social media, and they have what their true what attitude as well when they are not what on social media. So you may see a calm person, yeah, he gets onto what these chat rooms, and then yeah, they become what somebody else, violent, and then yeah, and so on. Yeah. Yeah, so all of this is possible because of what in certain transmission protocols like what simple mail transfer protocol and then the network news transfer what protocols. So all of this allow you to be able to what yeah, assume an anonymous what identity, sending what information or making posts on these platforms back and forth. Yeah, so all of this is possible because of what these technologies. Okay, now let's look at the advantages of what anonymity on the internet. There can be what some advantages there. Acts of whistleblowing, yeah, can be what facilitated by what anonymity on the internet. So you realize that it creates that fertile platform for whistleblowers to put what the information out there without really what revealing their identity. So let's say there is somewhat wrongdoing going on in your organization or somewhere else, and then you get wind of it. You are able to what put it on what social media, yeah, and any bulletin news platform and so on. Yeah, without what fear of what yeah, being what victimized, yeah, because of what revealing certain wrongdoing that is going on. So yeah, it can be what helpful to whistleblowers that are seeking to what yeah unearth somewhat wrongdoing that is going on there. I think we can all what we are all aware of what some of the tactics used by what the Tiger Eye group, Anas Arabia or Anas and yeah his team and so on. Yeah, so till date I don't believe what yeah any of you here knows his true identity and so on. So anonymity on the internet, it can be a good thing. Yeah, then we can also talk about what in cases of what national security. Yeah, you realize that every nation has yeah, spies or I mean secret agents that um, do a lot of what I mean undercover work for them and so on. So such people are also able to yeah, go about their duties yeah, because of what I mean anonymity. So they are able to what yeah, execute a lot of their duties yeah, using what I mean anonymity on the internet and so on. Yeah. Then in situation where there is what I mean immediate fear of what I mean reprisals, anonymity can be a good thing. Yeah, and then yeah, it's also good for what I mean some relationship and yeah, and then the security of what I mean people. Yeah, so these are some of what the advantages of what I mean anonymity. Yeah, then let's look at some of the disadvantages. So we can talk about what I mean criminals, embezzlers, yeah, using what this to their advantage, yeah, especially on social what I mean networks and so on. So a lot of what the yeah the social what I mean engineering, yeah, or let me say a lot of what yeah, the phishing attacks, I mean that goes on yeah, yeah, at times yeah, take advantage of what anonymity on the internet. So yeah, the Sakawa boy I mean right here is posing as what I mean a female what I mean extort some white man somewhere else and so on. Yeah, yeah, so criminals, what I mean, do rely on what anonymity, and then at times they even what I mean hack into systems and so on. What I mean, they use all manner of what I mean identities. Yeah, then yeah, there is also what the situation where disputes yeah, are unresolved because of what I mean anonymity. Yeah, so you realize that there are certain situations if what um, individual what I mean identities were what revealed or I mean yeah they were not concealed, then a lot of problems or disputes can be resolved. Yeah, so that can also be what a disadvantage here. Okay, so now let's move to security. Yeah. Yeah, so with security, we are usually looking at what, yeah, preventing against what I mean unauthorized access, use, alteration, and what I mean theft or causing physical damage. Yeah, so if you are able to what, yeah, prevent your systems or your facility, yeah, from what unauthorized access, use, alteration, theft and physical damage, then we'll say that I mean your system is what I mean secure. Yeah, so usually security involves three elements. We talk about what confidentiality, integrity, and then what I mean availability. Yeah, so a system that is secure, yeah, then it should be able to what keep um, people's I mean people personal information confidential and your trade secrets and yeah anything that what I mean requires confidentiality, yeah, then it should be able to what I mean keep it confidential and then what protects unauthorized access. Yeah, so people that are not what yeah authorized or that are not supposed to what I mean have access to information, they shouldn't be able to have access to it. Yeah, so if that is what assured, then we can say that yeah, there is what I mean confidentiality, and yeah, you can't have what I mean security if you don't have what I mean confidentiality. Yeah, then integrity. So it's not just about what I mean, keeping the system, the information, your information systems and your databases from what unauthorized what yeah, users, but also um, even the authorized users shouldn't be able to what alter it or modify it yeah, without what I mean permission, or they shouldn't be able to what yeah, alter the information yeah, when they are not supposed to. Yeah, so if they alter the information and then what it loses its accuracy, yeah, then we'll say that what that information it loses integrity. Yeah, and then when your system loses integrity, then that system yeah is not secured. Yeah, so a secured system should be able to what um, even yeah protect against what yeah unauthorized what alteration even by what legitimate users. Yeah, so a legitimate user shouldn't be able to what alter the information in a way and manner that makes it loses what its yeah truth or its what value. Then we can talk about what availability. Yeah, availability is also one of what yeah the elements of what I mean security. So if the information is secured or the system is secured, yeah, it means that the system is what available towards legitimate users or authorized what I mean users. Yeah, so at times we have situations of what denial of service attacks. Yeah, which means that um, even what I mean, legitimate users are unable to what, have access to the information they need. So if you are unable to what, yeah, access what I mean information, yeah, when you need it, it means it is not available. And then if it's not available because of what sabotage, in the case of what denial of service attack, yeah, then that information is what I mean insecure. And we all know how what I mean these denial of service attacks I mean do happen. Yeah, naturally, every what I mean server or network has somewhat a capacity. Yeah, and naturally at peak hours you realize what servers or networks and information systems become what slow, and then at times they what break down or they crash because of what the yeah intensity of what the request or the load they have to what handle at that time. So naturally, if you what demand so much from what I mean these systems and servers, they are going to what break down. Yeah. So with this, what I mean, knowledge, malicious actors are also able to what to at times overwhelm what I mean these servers. I mean, if they have what a beef with you, yeah, they are going to what overwhelm your servers, and then with requests. Yeah, and when they do that, you realize that your servers are overwhelmed and are unable to what I mean really provide what um, service to what legitimate what I mean users of the server that may be what seeking to use the server yeah at that time. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that is what yeah the three elements of what security. Okay, so moving on, let's all right, so let's look at the types of what security. We have what we call physical security. That involves the prevention of what access to physical facilities, such as what I mean your computer systems, yeah, or even what your computer labs, yeah, and then what I mean your data centers and so on. Yeah, then we also have what we call what I mean information security. That involves prevention of access to information by either encryption, authentication, and then other means that are available. Okay, now let's look at how we can ensure what I mean physical security. Yeah, so with physical security, yeah, your system can be secured if you're able to barricade what I mean around it. Yeah, and then you have what secured area both what I mean inside and outside your facility. Yeah, then we will say what I mean your system is secured. Yeah, and with what I mean physical security, you can guarantee it. I mean using what these four mechanisms: deterrence, prevention, detection, and then response. Yeah, so usually deterrence is what should be the first yeah, line of what your security what yeah, strategy to deter people from what really yeah trying to what I mean intrude into what your systems and then your premises and so on. Yeah, so at times you see people write on their walls, I mean, beware of wild dogs. That is a deterrence what strategy. Yeah, so anytime you are walking through some neighborhood and then you see some what I mean posts, yeah, some posts on what I mean, some walls telling you that I mean there are wild dogs here. Yeah, it deters you. You don't want to get closer to some of these places. Yeah, and um, the bad guys, they are what rational. So when they see these what signs, yeah, it deters them. Okay, yeah, so you can always what yeah, use deterrence as your first what um line of what your defense. Yeah, then and at times, even putting what I mean CCTV cameras on your premises can all be what I mean deterrence. Yeah, so the criminal is coming. Yeah, they are aware that I mean there is CCTV what I mean footage. Yeah, it's going to deter them. Yeah, the person is going to what think twice about it because whatever here is going to be captured on tape at the end of the day, and then yeah, if I mean you know you are going to do something that you are not going to get away with, I mean then you probably think twice about that. Yeah, then we talk about what I mean prevention. Yeah, so prevention is when you actually what I mean put in place certain what I mean barricade or certain yeah measures that what I mean actually block people from having access to their premises. Yeah, so that is what I mean prevention mechanism. And again, using CCTV cameras can also be a prevention what I mean mechanism. Yeah, because yeah, your CCTV cameras will also what I mean prevent I mean people from really what yeah trying to what I mean access the place. So at times something can be deterrence. It can also be what prevention as well. Yeah, then we can talk about what other mechanisms like yeah, access control mechanisms where there are somewhat yeah, authentication requirements for people to what I mean access, whether it is your computer system or it's your what your data center, your premises, and so on. Yeah, so you can actually what yeah put in I mean walls and fence yeah with what some lock that what requires some validation before access. Yeah, then we can talk about what detection. Yeah, so again detection is when you what when they are able to what um, breakthrough at I mean the first two at yeah defense I mean mechanisms. I mean deterrence, you put what your deterrence mechanisms there, they are not deterred. Then you put what I mean your prevention mechanisms there. There is a wall, there is what an access control system. The person what is able to what yeah maneuver their way through that. Then you're looking at what the third line of what your defense. Yeah, that should be what detection. Yeah, so with detection, that is when you have to to see the person in the act. So there should be some mechanism that allow you to to see whoever that is intruding or breaching your security systems. Yeah, so that is detection. And again, I mean, CCTV camera can be what detection, because at times they are able to detect abnormal activities and report to you in real time, either by text messaging and so on. Yeah, so that can be a detection mechanism. Yeah, and then yeah, so detecting them at times may not deter the person. The person is aware that you've detected that they are breaching your your security, your premises, and so on. But they are still undeterred. They want to go ahead with it. Yeah, that is when the fourth line of your defense come in. That is the response. You should always have some way to respond to what your security breaches. Yeah, so at times you can put in some security personnel there. Yeah, that is able to respond. Yeah, to breaches into your um, premises or your security systems and so on. Yeah. And let's even talk about your computer systems. At times, certain systems that can self um, destroy, or they can lock themselves um, if they detect that there is a breach, yeah, of the security system. Yeah, and even at times your banking applications and so on, you realize that if you attempt your password more than 3 times, they are going to block your account. Yeah, so these are some of the response mechanisms that can be in place. Yeah, so something has to happen to really challenge or stop the intruder from their activities and so on. And that is what the response mechanism. Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, that's physical access control. So we talked about that. And then these are also physical security, yeah, measures, ways you can use to provide prevention. Yeah, so these are all prevention mechanisms. So we have the barbed wires, the break walls, natural trees, yeah, yeah, mounted noise or vibration sensors, security lighting, yeah, CCTV, and then buried sensors. Yeah, so all of these, especially with the seismic sensors, once you bury them within your yeah, premises, they are able to detect footsteps, and then they report to you that somebody is actually yeah, walking around in your premises and so on. Then we have yeah, different photoelectrics, microwave systems, yeah, lock and keys, and so on. So all of these are physical security barriers you can use as your prevention mechanism. Yeah, then we have electronic access control. Yeah, that also provide yeah, prevention mechanisms, or that can also serve as prevention mechanisms for you. Yeah. Okay, now let's also look at password etiquettes. Yeah, so um, in addition to the electronic access control, we have the card access control, firewalls, electronic, such as your password, your digital signatures, and biometrics. Yeah, so all these can be yeah, forms of electronic access control. Yeah, then with the password, there are some etiquette. So Password is now what I mean a basic um, yeah access control what I mean mechanism for a lot of what I mean systems. These days we have what I mean two-factor authentications and so on. Where at times they either what I mean use a password and then your biometric feature either thumbprint, iris, your facial recognition features and so on. Yeah. Then yeah so these are what some of the etiquettes with regard to what I mean your password. So you never what I mean publicize it, never write your password down anywhere at all. And then never choose what I mean a password that is easy to guess. So easy to guess things would be what I mean using your birthday, your name, your pet name, and so on, your hometown, and a lot of things. I mean, that are easily what that people can guess easily. So you don't want to use these, and never keep what I mean the same password for an extended period of time. So at times it's recommended that every 3 months, I mean, you really change your password and so on. Okay, now let's also look at what I mean firewalls, because these are also what I mean electronic what yeah access control what I mean mechanisms. So for the firewalls, what they do is that they filter, and then what I mean they isolate what yeah your network, or portions what I mean of your network from harmful what I mean packets and so on. yeah so usually it is based on what I mean certain rules that you can determine. So you may configure these rules, and then the firewall is able to what I mean prevent your server or your system from what I mean receiving certain internet packets that do not meet what certain criteria. Yeah. So so these are some of what the firewalls models that we have. We have what we call the packet filters, the proxy servers, for what I mean inspections. So all these are what I mean variations of what firewalls models. So with the packet filters, what they do is that yeah they what um, yeah prevents packets um, based on what I mean certain conditions. So these conditions could be that whatever packet is coming should have what origin, and then what I mean destination, what I mean address. And at times you can further what customize these rules by what yeah, giving a list of what yeah at times sources that your what your your server should reject what I mean packets from, and so on. And at times based on what I mean certain names and so on. So when you have what packets that are coming from what I mean certain let me say notorious origins, then you don't really want to what allow them in. So you what configure these rules to what prevent these illegitimate what packets, or let me say questionable what packets from what I mean going through. So with what the packet filters, the packet must what have what permissible origin and destination, like I said, and then so usually, I mean, they are blocked based on what we call the TCP, and then UDP packet what port numbers. Or based on what I mean the protocol types. Yeah. So the weaknesses of these what yeah, packet filters is that they cannot stop or filter packets with malicious intent if they contain what the permissible what attributes. Yeah. So at times yeah, a packet has a what an origin address and then a destination, but yeah, it's not really legitimate. Yeah, so packet filters are unable to what deal with that. Yeah, then we also have the proxy servers. So with the proxy servers, yeah, these servers work on what protected portions of the network that usually provide information to the outside users requesting access to what those portion. So that is the firewall protects client computers from what direct access to the internet. So clients what direct their requests for an internet connection through what a proxy server. Yeah. So if individual client requests conforms what the pre-set conditions, then the firewall will act on the request. Otherwise, it is dropped. Yeah. So these firewalls, they really require specialized client server configurations depending on what the application. Yeah, then we also have what stateful inspection. So with these firewalls, they combine both what the packet filters and then the proxy server functions. Yeah, so it is considered what complex and more advanced. Yeah, and just as what the packet filters, it is based on a set of rules, and then unlike what yeah, the packet filters, these what rules are not what based on what TCP and then UDP, but it is based on what the application as what and it is similar to what that of what the proxy server. Yeah. So for instance, packets yeah are compared with the data with which what yeah a friendly what packets have been archived. So it's like here you are really what inspecting the data and not just the packet heads. So you realize with the packet filters you are only what checking the packet headers, and with what packet filters you don't really touch the data. So the stateful inspection goes a step further to what inspect what the data to establish that the data that is coming really meets what some criteria or conform to what some friendly packets yeah, that are available in the archives. Okay, then information what yeah, security what controls. Yeah, so yeah, so this include what integrity, confidentiality, and availability of what information at servers, including information in files, databases, and then in transition between servers and then what between clients and then servers. Yeah, so common ways to ensure what information security is what through cryptography, authentication, and then audit trails at information sources and then information destination servers. Yeah, so these are some of the ways we can really what control information security. Okay, so let's look at cryptography. So this is the science of what writing and then what reading coded messages. That is cryptography. So the message you write is being what coded or is encrypted. Yeah, then it is sent over what a communication channel. Then it is decrypted at the what destination into the original text or the original what message. Yeah, so with cryptographic functions, we have what we call the symmetric what encryption. Yeah, and then we have what asymmetric, and then we have what the hash functions. Yeah, so with the encryption, it means what I mean, just what encoding or hiding what the plain message that is to be sent over the communication channel. Yeah, so with um, symmetric what I mean encryption. Yeah, so with symmetric um, Yeah, so with symmetric encryption, we also call it what I mean the secret encryption, and usually it uses what I mean a common key. Yeah, so the same key that is used what I mean to hide or encrypt the data is the same key that will be used to what decrypt what the data. Yeah, so you can see that we have what I mean in the figure. You have what the plain text that is being encrypted with an encryption what I mean algorithm. Yeah, then you encrypt it, you call it what I mean the cipher text. So the unencrypted text is the plain text. Yeah, then the encrypted one is called the cipher text. Yeah, then once it gets to the destination, then it is decrypted back to what the plain text. Yeah, so in this what I mean um, situation, you realize that you are using the same key for both encryption and decryption. Yeah, so in that case, anybody that gets hold of what this key is able to what decrypt whatever is being sent. Sorry. Okay, then let's look at what I mean asymmetric encryption. So this is commonly known as what I mean public key encryption, and with this one, I mean two keys are used. We have what we call the public key, that is known by what I mean all, and a private key that is only known by what I mean the sender and then the receiver. Yeah. So with this one, the sender and the receiver each has what I mean a pair of what I mean these keys. So they all have one public key and then one private key. And to encrypt a message, yeah, from a sender to a receiver, both must what I mean create their own pairs of what I mean keys. Yeah, then they what exchange their public keys, and then so the public key anybody can acquire it. Yeah, but so when what I mean what happens is that yeah, if I want to engage in what I mean asymmetric what cryptography and so on, what will happen is that I have to get two keys, my public key and then my what private key. Yeah, so my public key I announce it to everybody. So anybody that wants to send me a message, they have to use my public key to encrypt it, so that when they send it to me, I will use my private key to what to open it. Yeah. So the public key, you don't hide it, you share it with everybody. And then that is what they use to encrypt whatever they are sending to you. So that you only know the private key. Yeah. And then what the public key that you give out is only your private key that can what decrypt whatever is being encrypted using your public key. Yeah. And then if you're also to send anything to anybody, you use their public key, and then when and their public key they have to share it with you. Yeah, so you use what they have shared with you to what to encrypt it, and then you send it to them, and then once they receive it, they only knows the what the secret key which it can be opened, yeah, or decrypted with. So that is how asymmetric what encryption also works. Okay, so finally, let's look at privacy. Yeah, so with privacy, that is what. um, the human value consisting of what I mean these four elements according to Jerry Delac. Yeah, so these are the four elements. I mean solitude, that is the right to be left what alone without disturbance. Yeah, so if you are yeah, enjoy solitude, then we will say that you have what some privacy. Then anonymity, the right to have what no public identity. Yeah, so if you what identities are not imposed on you, you are able to what either choose to what have what a public identity or not. Yeah, then that is what you have in privacy. Then we talk about intimacy, that is the right not to be monitored. Then reserve, that is the right to control one's personal information, including what the methods of dissemination of what that information. So that is why usually online, if they are to what you are going to some websites, they want to monitor your activities and so on with cookies. They always have to ask for your consent before um, they install their cookies on your browser. Yeah, so that is privacy. Yeah. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the lecture, and then thank you.